Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, and welcome to the Four Horsemen December 2021 build. If you want to participate, here are some of the 2022 builds. And as always, if you do contribute, make sure you send us a picture and some info to the email above. So we're starting with a Hot Wheels 62 Chevy pickup. I've done a few of these in the past. And the theme is obviously, as stated, a shop truck theme. And this was kind of a loose interpretation for, it's whatever if you owned your own shop, what would you have for a vehicle? And you could pretty much build it any way you wanted. And this is just a regular generic casting. It's not the Rail Rider version, so it's got the plastic base and plastic interior. Overall, pretty easy to drill. I always start with a small bit and then go just a bit bigger. And a little bit of prying and the whole base just pops right off. You get a nice shiny chrome interior and bed because it's all one piece, and then a lightly blue tinted window. Pretty basic vehicle, nothing fancy, nothing to write home about. I've gone pretty extreme in the past on some of these, so I was trying to keep this one a little bit more on the simple side as far as not going with, cutting the bed open and cutting the hood off and all that stuff. So I stripped it with citrus strip, and now I'm going to take the wheels off. I'm a little short on wheels. I haven't really ordered any in a while. And I had these that came off, I believe, a Dodge Charger. I'm not 100% sure, but they're like a 12-spoke wheel. And it was matching front and rear. And I just thought they were kind of cool. I thought they'd look good on the truck. They actually fit really, really well. And sometimes you luck out. You can grab a set of wheels that, the axles are too long or too short. But on occasion, you get lucky if you do it enough and you find some that actually fit really well. So these were small in the front, large in the back. It worked out really well for what I was after for a stance. And they were a slightly smaller diameter in the front than the tires that came off of it. The problem is they were just a little too low. So the front bumper was actually rubbing on the ground and preventing, it was like almost even with it. So it really wasn't ideal. So there's a couple ways you can solve that problem. I mean, it does roll, but you got to push a little bit hard. So what I decided to do is just take a little bit off the actual bumper itself, just to give it that. I mean, I'm talking maybe a 16th or a 32nd of an inch. It really wasn't much. So I have a piece of sandpaper that I always keep handy, and I'm just going to sand it down. Like I said, it's not very much. You can do it with a file. You can do it with a Dremel tool. I just happen to have the sandpaper nearby, so it worked out really well. And because I wasn't taking a lot off, this seemed like for a change, the smartest option. I usually don't do things the smartest way. So in this particular case, I did. So just by doing that little bit gave me the clearance that I needed once it was snapped together, just so that it rolls nice and even and allows me to not have to really screw with the chassis to play around with the wheels. So once you've stripped the chassis, the body, you can see there's a lot of casting lines on these that, I'm sure they've beat the hell out of the casting over the years, and this is a pretty popular vehicle, so they've made quite a few of them. So I have a piece of sandpaper, a kit that I bought for my Dremel tool, and it just snaps right into my quick release, and it makes short work of casting lines, but you can't put a lot of pressure on it. I'm barely touching it right now, just trying to get just a little bit at a time off. If you go too much, it'll actually actually start to mold the die cast in a different way, which could be good if you want to, but considering that's not what I wanted to do. You can do it with sanding sticks. You can do it with sandpaper. Those take a while. for me, so I prefer to just do it this way. It's quick, it's easy. My chances of screwing it up greatly increase, but I've been doing it long enough where I feel pretty comfortable using the sanding disc. I believe the kit came with like 80, 120, 240, 2 or 3 different grits, and I got them at Home Depot, so it was like $8. It really wasn't that bad. So, and I've been using the same one for about 6 months, so you really don't go through them that much. But overall, it's a pretty nice casting. It's just such a great body style. I really wish I had one in real life. When I was in the Army and I lived in El Paso, a buddy of mine, I didn't hang out with Army guys much. I hung out with most of the town guys because the guy in my unit was actually from El Paso. And he had like 3 of these trucks. Pissed me off because they were so nice. And they just kind of took it for granted. So I get everything ready for painting. I'm going to do various things. I used a white primer on the actual truck, and then I just put a quickie clear coat on it. And when I say quickie, I'm talking Rust-Oleum rattle can, just enough. It was a matte clear, and I did that so that I could mask it off to do the back half, which is black. And in a lot of my stuff lately, I've been doing black and white because that's kind of my colors for the speed shop. And I use it in my RC stuff. I use it everywhere. So it kind of fit to go black and white on this. And I had a bunch of decals that I had printed out over the last 2 or 3 years. I kind of just pulled them all out and started cutting shit up and trying to decide what I was going to use and if I was going to use it based on sizing and, just trying different things to see what was going to look good. As you guys know, if you follow the channel, I am not a huge decal person. I actually despise them because I suck so bad at them. As you can see me struggling here, I didn't leave it in long enough. And then when I did, it was just trying to get it off, and it's just pain in the neck. But anyways, it did come out good overall, but I never throw any decals away, I guess is my point, because I always come back to a spot or a build where I'm looking for something, and whenever I make my own decals, I always make like 4 or 5 different sizes of the same thing. Partially because I'm nervous when I print it out that it's not going to be the size I need, so I always make a few extra that are larger, a few extra that are smaller, and it always ends up working out because I very rarely don't have what I need. So that's just a little thing that I do just to, again, if you print out your own, and I don't do anything fancy. I don't have a fancy white toner printer. I just do the Testors clear decal paper and a regular Hewlett-Packard printer. So nothing fantabulous. I just kind of go with it. I have looked into the white toner printers, but I can't justify the cost versus how much I actually use it. So I'm putting some Army decals on there that somebody had sent me just because I had them and I thought it would look kind of cool. And then really after clear coating it, actually I'm not even there yet. You can see I had the interior I painted white, and that kind of gave me a good base to work off of insofar as detail painting and being able to lay some colors down. And then I'm just going to paint the Chevy logo on the tailgate blue. I'm going to do the tail lights, various things on the actual casting itself before I put my 5 coats of clear on it that I usually put on it. And you can use whatever you want for paints. I happen to use a combination of Vallejo and Citadel. I don't have a preference. I like them both the same. I guess if I had to pick, somebody put a gun to my head, I'd probably say Citadel, only because they're easier to clean up the brushes, but not by much. So they just have a pretty good selection, and I'm still using paints that I bought 3 years ago when I started this. So I've just been lucky, but I haven't had any issues whatsoever. But I still, like I said, I'll go to the hobby shop and I'll buy Vallejo pretty much now, just because it's easier to, I guess if I had to pick something I liked about the Vallejo, It's the fact that they're bottles. I can just put a couple drops in, and I'm not digging out of the, I'm not dipping my brush into the pot like a Citadel all the time. And I know with Citadel, you can actually take your brush, take some out, put it in a little, palette, and then mix it with a little bit of water or a different medium to kind of thin it out a little bit. But again, I'm lazy, so I have these markers that I used for fine tip black details, like the hood or a grill area, for example, and they come like 0.01 up to 10, something like that, whatever the hell those numbers actually mean. I don't know if it's millimeters or what, but they come out pretty good. And then I got my chrome pens. I'll just do, little things here and there. The great part about projects like this, and you can see I painted the gray rims that I had. I painted the back black and the front white, and then I'll clear coat those as well. And that kind of matches the paint scheme a little bit because the back half of the truck is black. But, projects like this, in castings like this, you can have there's so many different things you can do. And that's what I kind of dig about the Four Horsemen builds. I've contemplated not doing them anymore, just because my time and my schedule as of late has been crazy. Here you can see I'm using my chrome pen to hit the bottom of the bumper where I had sanded off to get the clearance I needed. But I've thought about not doing it and maybe bowing out, let somebody else take my spot. Which might happen at some point, but then I do a build like this, and I remember how cool it is to pick a casting and pick a theme, and then see how many different combinations and how everybody's vision comes to life. I just think that's really awesome to see everybody's take, given the same parameters, and just using their imagination and skill, and what they come up with, and that's just hard to. Even if I only did one build a month. I would still want to do the Four Horsemen builds. So, and guys like the Three Blind Mice and etc. It's the same thing. And you get to participate and you get to see all the different ways that people will do something. And you think you got this wild, crazy idea and how something's going to come out and how unique it's going to be. And then you see other people and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even think about doing that. So it's fun. And the great part about this, and I've beat this horse to death many times. The great part about this hobby is you can do what you want. It's $1 car, or worst case $4.95 if you get the Real Riders or whatever it is now. I haven't bought a car in I don't know how long, but it's supposed to be fun and enjoyable and relaxing and something that you can take your mind off of all the crap that's going on in the world, and you can spend an hour or two down, in your workshop and just have you time where you're just working on this, and you get to be in a community with a bunch of like-minded people and share your ideas and your creativity. And there's no wrong way to do it. And if you screw it up, it's $1 car. And that's the great part. I see so much drama and so many groups sometimes, and it's just like, Jesus, guys, it's $1 car. Who cares? Have fun. Everybody's got their own skill set. Nobody's great. I suck completely 90% of the time, and I don't care. I just have fun doing it, and I think a lot of people gravitate to this because of the fact that they can just have fun and do things and make something that wasn't made. And to me, that's the enjoyment, is to something that's in my brain actually translate from my brain to my hands to something that I'm working on. And, it's just one of those things that's just really enjoyable. And if you find yourself stressed out over it, stop, walk away. It's just not worth getting stressed out about. It's not worth fighting with people over. It's not a dick measuring contest. Just have fun. Yeah, I'd lose that anyway. So here you can see I'm using some Citadel paints. I'd use a leather brown for the bed. I'm painting the half surfboard, which I have no idea why that's there in the bed. Looks like it got bitten by a shark. But looks kind of cool in the bed. So I'm going to do all this, and then I'm going to actually clear I don't always clear the interior pieces, but because the bed's attached, and I wanted the bed to, have that, like the wooden slats have that varnish look, and the wheel tubs would normally have been like a steel tub anyway. So I will clear coat that. It looks kind of cool. And the seats I did black. But after clearing, here is all the pieces. I got my casting itself, and then my interior and my base right here with the different wheels. Those have been cleared. And here you can see this being cleared as well. So overall, this was a great project. I had a blast doing it. This is what we started with. It's a really good casting to begin with. And this is what I ended up with. Rolls nice. The wheels were perfect. I didn't have to cut the axles or anything. And, this is something that I would definitely cruise around town with. I'd be proud to cruise around town with as my billboard for my shop. And I actually had a 53 Chevy pickup as my shop truck when I had the speed shop. So that was kind of and it was white. So this is kind of like a throwback to that to a degree. So I hope you enjoy this. Make sure you check out everybody else's videos. There'll be some links down below. I appreciate you watching. Leave me a comment down below what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one.